What's going on, you guys? This is Christian from Klaudless and Indy speaking to you straight from the editing room. I did not have a great intro for this video, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to make this, and this will be the intro. So I will not be rolling the intro because this is the intro. I know this video is a little longer than my usual videos, clocking in at a little over an hour and a half. But you know, I think that you guys may enjoy this, especially if you've never been to Lafayette, Indiana. I had never really explored the downtown, so I found it interesting myself, and I do plan on going back. So without further ado, welcome to Klaudless and Indy, and this is the Lafayette mini tour part 1. Let's go. What's going on, you guys? Klaudless and Indy here. Today I am in West Lafayette, near Purdue, and I'm on daddy duty. So it's me and Autumn. But today I figured, since I'm here and my wife is doing work stuff, I'd go walk around. They got this pretty cool bridge, and I'll see if I can get that on video. Let's go. And here's the fountain. Okay, cool. It's here. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer to that plaque over there. See what that says. Alrighty. The Sonia L. Margarum Fountain, dedicated by the citizens of West Lafayette in appreciation of public service as the mayor of the city of West Lafayette between 1980 and 2004. Wow. And of course dedicated on September 24th, 2006. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Look at that fountain. It's also a beautiful day. I mean, overcast is beautiful to me, so not too sunny. Let's continue on. Trying to walk up the walkway here and look at this. Oh my God, you would have thought I was in Indy with how bad this this walkway is. Damn. Oh my. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. There we go. That is much, whoop, oh my God, much better. This is not easy to do with the stroller here. Also trying to the best to keep the baby out of the way. There. And here is the walkway, or at least part of it. At least I hope I'm going in the right direction. Start back up when we get over the water. But some park over there, nice park. Well, maybe we can come back to that later. I know it's not a trail per se, but that does look like a nice park there. Looks like a nice park there. Maybe a perfect place for a mittagrua. Oh yeah, so we're almost to the middle of the bridge here. See if I can get a picture of the water. Oh, look at that. Does that look like a nice beach to you? Be a good spot to go fishing. See if we can get the train tracks on the other side. Whoop. Alrighty, so we're on the other side there. That's the bridge we crossed to get over here today. And on the other side of the bridge, you can kind of see the railroad track. It'd be pretty cool if there was a train coming today. Maybe we can catch one later. Not sure what the name of this bridge is, though. Although I think I see a placard over there, so let's go see if we can get up close to that. So it seems the placard is referring to the sundial. Very interesting. Let's go see what it says. The Millennium Sundial symbolizes our community heritage and culture and the promise of future generations. By David Aho, sculptor. And there's a lot of information on that. You guys can read that. But let's read this bottom part here. The middle of the sundial has the sundial accurately, the middle of the shadow on the sundial accurately reports our local solar time year-round. to coincide with clock time, we adjust for location in our time zone and solar time's non-uniformity. To convert the sundial's time to approximate clock time, add the minutes in this chart to the sundial reading. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm not very good at math, so I will not be doing that. So if you want, you can do that yourself. I'm not sure if there's even going to be a shadow since it is overcast today. And it's really nice out. I just hope it doesn't sprinkle on me, although it doesn't seem like the weather calls for that today. So let me see if I can do this here. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. See got the markings on there, and I think also the Courthouse. Very cool. All right, let's move on. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It actually has just come to my attention by crossing this bridge that I'm currently crossing. We are actually moving back to Lafayette. So I will obviously present that on the title of this video, Exploring Lafayette instead of West Lafayette, because obviously while we started in West Lafayette, we are currently in Lafayette, which isn't necessarily an issue. So I see some pretty cool things along the way. And I also see another placard that actually tells you the name of the bridge. I'm not sure if it's the other bridge we're about to cross, or if this is one continuous bridge, or multiple bridges, not sure, since this is the second bridge we're about to cross. But let's go to this placard here. All right. The John T. Myers Main Street Bridge, named July 12, 1997, to honor John T. Myers, U.S. Representative, 7th District, Indiana, from 1966 to 1996. Wow. Wow. This is simple math, so I can do this. That's about 30 years. Alrighty. For the dedicated service to the greater Lafayette community, friend, advocate, champion of constituents, with special thanks for advocating Lafayette's railroad relocation, which converted the bridge to pedestrian use in 1996. Originally constructed in 1914, this is the third Main Street bridge to cross the Wabash River at this site. Yeah, I didn't realize that was actually the Wabash River. We just crossed there. That's pretty cool. So now we're gonna go ahead and cross the, I guess, the John T. Myers Main Street Bridge. Let's do it. Or at least this portion of it. Got some train tracks over here. It's pretty cool. Actually a really peaceful day, surprisingly. Look at that. It almost looks like there's also a train station over here. Oh, would you look at that? Wow, I guess this used to be a train station. I don't know if it still is. It doesn't look like it. Looks a little derelict though. But that is pretty cool. There is an elevator. Not sure if the elevator is still accessible, but let's press the button and see if it works. It actually wouldn't be surprising if this was the Amtrak station. Oh my god, wow, the button actually works. Well, fortunately for you guys, today is daddy-daughter day, and so I will not be taking my daughter down there. I mean, it's probably safe, but that doesn't look like there's anyone down there, so let's be it's rather safe than sorry. You know how it is. Let's continue on. Looks like you got a bit of a, I guess you can call this maybe a sky bridge, sort of, or a canopy bridge. Goes a little bit of the ways there. Oh, all right. The guy's just chilling over there. But this is the extremely long walkway down back to the main road over there. So, yeah, we can use the walk. Got some what looks to be apartments or condos. Honestly thought Autumn was going to be up for this entire video. I mean, since she's been up all morning, but it's probably why she's sleeping right now. Because she's been up all morning. So, let's do this thing, huh? Oh, here we are. Yep, as I suspected. I guess this is the Amtrak station. Must not be any, I guess, trains today. But, yeah, I guess I'll, yeah. You know what, I must admit that I think that's pretty cool that at one end of the bridge you have a fountain, and then at the other end of the bridge you have another fountain. And I have yet to have seen another plaque, you know, for the bridge. That seems to be the only one. Is it to assume that the entire bridge is called the, what is it, the John T. Myers? My short-term memory serves me right. All right, but we've officially made it here. This restaurant in downtown Lafayette. The hustle and bustle. See that big building right there? You know how much I love government buildings, especially the old architecture ones. So we're definitely gonna need to get there, get a close up there, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And if I see anything interesting on the way, I will document it. Let's go. Look at that from afar. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera though, but I'm gonna see if I can zoom in. You can look at that detail there. Oh yeah, look at that. I absolutely love buildings like this. So, as I said, we're gonna get closer. Let's go. Just notice this. Did you guys know that apparently the city of Lafayette, Indiana, is in the top 5 of great places for remote workers to live in the U.S.? Is that true? Let me know, I guess, in the comments, I guess. That mural there, pretty cool mural. Alleyways, you know how much I love alleyways. Barbershop. See these things here, these triangles, these sails, I guess? Need that for my place. That's what I need. Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it. I've been staring at this building since we drove down the main street of Columbia. You know, if I could go around, you know, to all the cities of Indiana and go to the county seats, that would be amazing. You know what? I just realized, is that a one-way? I think Columbia is a one-way, so we are actually going to go clockwise around the building. That way we can continue to go, I think, down the hill as opposed to up the hill. I did want to walk today, but I'm not sure if I was wanting a workout. Look at that, you got the clock there. And as we get closer, you can see a little bit more detail with the red trimming. Very nice. Very nice. Absolute gorgeous building. Okay. Just had to make sure my daughter was still alive. But she is sleeping peacefully. Okay, oh, look at that. We've got another plaque. You know we have to stop. To commemorate the Wabash and Erie Canal, which operated from 1841 to 1872 between Toledo, Ohio, and Evansville, Indiana, and which, through Lafayette, paralleled the Wabash River, crossing Main Street at the east end of the bridge. Tableau placed by General de Lafayette, chapter, daughter of the American Revolution, 1941. Very interesting. Look at this plant. Wow, there's bees. Not sure if you can see the bees, but there's bees. All right, let's continue on. There's people coming. Fountains, more fountains. I mean, granted, that's only the 3rd fountain I've seen today, but still. Oh, hold on. Look at that. Welcome to the Wabash River Front District, downtown. Okay, is there any place on here that looks interesting? It's a lot warmer than I was expecting. Probably shouldn't have worn an undershirt. Well, we're already seeing the Millennial Sundial on the John C. Myers pedestrian bridge. I'm not sure if we already saw, yep, we did, the Marjoram Fountain. You can see there. What else have we seen? I'm not sure. Oh, yep, we saw the Sunday Morning Wabash River by artist Zach Medler on 223 Main Street. All right, so what? That's 1, 2, 3 things I think so far. Amazing. Well, let's see if we can find some more stuff on here. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna look. I didn't do any prep work before this video. This is completely on the fly here. But you know what I just realized? I just realized that we are currently on Main Street and we can actually cross off one more item. Just gonna take off my sunglasses here. And that's going to be the Marquis de Lafayette fountain. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Whoop. There we go. That is the third fountain of the day. I think that's pretty cool. Do they make them like that anymore? I'm not sure. Oh, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Very beautiful. Let's move on. Digby's, you guys. Have you ever been to Digby's before? How's this place? Let me know in the comments. Oh, look, they have a menu. Let's go ahead and look at the menu. And it looks like they're open. Beer and pretzel rolls. Well, 'tis the season. Happy Oktoberfest, you guys. A full Oktoberfest. Alrighty. Got some nice cocktails going on there. Raspberry mojito. Never had that, but I have made a blackberry mojito before, and I think it was quite delicious. Got the Digby lemonade. I'm not sure if I can see, if you guys can see that. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Let's move on. Hey guys, real quick. I think we are on the. Hold on, let me look at my map. So we are currently on the northwest side of the building, or I guess technically this would be, I think, the southeast side. So I am looking northwest. You can see some more detail at the very top. Absolutely amazing. Looks like there's a sickle there. I want to say maybe a, I don't know what you call those. I'll look it up online and I'll post it somewhere in the video. And then the other person looks like they have a scroll there. Tell me what you guys think about that. Looks like there's some wheat. Pretty cool. Lots of detail. Absolutely love it. There we go. All right, continuing on. You guys, so I don't normally go looking for them, but it's always nice when I'm able to find the Main Street books. Yes, we are all the way across the street. They just so happen to be like that. Oh, there's next door a salon and a florist. You can make of that combination as you wish, but on the other side is also a tattoo parlor. Very cool. Very cool. I think that's like the second tattoo parlor I've passed. There was one right next door to Digby's. Yeah. And now we are in the arts and market part. So let's see what we got here. Well, moving on, we'll come back right back. Oh my God, look at that. Family Farm Objects by Linda Vanderkolk and Roy Patrick. 1992. But what interests me most about this sign is not necessarily the, I guess, the metal or the design of the sign, but the fact that it has Braille. I can't read Braille. Maybe you can, or know someone who can. I think that's pretty cool. I think this is pretty cool. All right. I don't think this was on the sign though. If it was, I'll post it somewhere in this video. But if not, maybe it should be. All right, moving on. Look at that, you guys. Another alleyway, a very artistic alleyway. Look at all that art there. And then, of course, we've got a Your Face here. I'm assuming you can stand there and pose. But what I find pretty cool is that, I think, is it adjacent, but directly across from the Your Face here is literally a guy with the, I think, original Instagram logo for a camera. I think that's pretty cool. By Robbie Forever, I'm assuming. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Bam, look at that. I think that's pretty cool. You know how much I love alleyways, but I will not be going down this alleyway today. Let's move on. But before we move on, one thing I have to point out is St. Michael's Catholic Bookstore. Wow, I'm gonna be honest with you. I honestly haven't seen a Catholic bookstore since, I think, like high school? Wow, that's over 10 years. Well over 10 years. Maybe 12, I'm not sure. You know I am about math. Moving on. Look at that. I don't know what this building is called, but the Lafayette, hold on. Now I was going to call it the Lafayette Theater, but I'm like, I don't want to call it the wrong name by accident. Only to find out that on the sign here, it's literally called that, the Lafayette Theater. But the Lafayette Comedy Fest from October 5th to the 7th. Check it out. Also, while I was walking this way, I noticed, just look at the architecture there. You know, that's how you know, maybe, I'm not sure, that it's an old city. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's very cool. And it seems like downtown Lafayette seems to be a lot of that, you know? Just with the different style of buildings connected to each other. I think that's pretty cool. But let's move on. The Goat Pub. Not sure if they're open or not, but let me know in the comments, you guys, if they are open. I mean, obviously I can Google that, but if you've been there before, let me know your experience. Oh, look at that. Got like cupcakes, donuts. Looks like the place to maybe go. Got the Lafayette Brewing Company. Are they a brew pub? Maybe. Let me know if you guys have been there. Moving on. So, just walk in and notice this place, the Thieme and Wagner. It looks German. So we're gonna go across the street and peek through the window. See what the hours are. See if I can just get a sneak peek. Let's go. Alright, on the way to Thieme and Wagner, or Thieme und Wagner, we come across this sculpture that says on the sides, kindness and trust. Very interesting. Not sure what that's supposed to be, but I at least recognize a star. Very cool. Is there a plaque? I don't know if there's a plaque, but we can see that on the other sides, it says something else. Hold on. Whoop. The stroller got stuck on the sidewalk. We have believe and love. Very interesting. But unfortunately, no information, just some scribbling on it. What does it say? Whoop, you know what? Actually, we are not going to read that at all. We're just going to keep it pushing. And onwards to Thieme und Wagner. Los geht's. Alright, so due to the radio station next door to Thieme and Wagner blasting Katy Perry, I didn't want to get this video copyrighted, so I'm just going ahead and narrating it. I was actually kind of surprised, although I probably shouldn't be, that Thieme and Wagner were the only bar in the area, or pub in the area, that was flying the Bavarian flag. This place actually came recommended to me, but unfortunately they weren't open despite it being 1 o'clock. But I had made a joke in the video, and I'll make it now, that I would be a liar if I said I've never opened up the shop late before. You know. I did find it interesting, though, and pretty cool that they had dog treats and water set out. I don't know if that's them themselves who put that out, or if someone else puts that out, but I think that's pretty cool. I really hope that the next time I go to Lafayette, I can definitely check them out, have a few beers there, and maybe even do a review. But yeah, I think that would be interesting, review some German beers on here, but that's pretty much it for this narration. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. I swear by the end of this video, my memory is probably going to be full, but I had to at least show this, keep calm. It's all gluten-free. Everything in our bakery case is gluten and dairy-free. Let me know if you've ever been there. Me, I have no reason to eat gluten-free, but I know many people who do. Ever been to Rose Market on Main and North 8th Street in Lafayette? Let me know. Moving on. While I'm not really into buying collectibles or cards in general, I still find it cool. It just reminds me of the days, growing up and whatnot. So Infinity Toys. Look at that. A little piece of history there. They're open today. Oh, look at that. We got some butterflies. They were just flying around. Not anymore, though. I absolutely love this. It's a very long street, very long strip. And yeah, I would definitely come back. But of course, this is only Main Street. This is only... Oh. I want to say the... Hold on. Yeah, so currently, I guess we are on the north side of West Lafayette. Or not West Lafayette, Lafayette. I'm so used to saying West Lafayette like all the time. Now I can't stop saying West Lafayette. Got a cat lounge here. The Lazy Cat. It's a coffee shop across the street. But we're about to go to the other side to Columbia Street. I think we have maybe 2 more blocks to go before the shops end. So we will continue on there before we go to the other side. And then we'll be working our way downhill. So, although, that hasn't really been, wasn't really that steep of a grade. I think we're just about to turn short of the steep grade. But, let's continue on. There's a shop that may be Greek, maybe French, just based on the colors. We'll see. I'm excited. Moving on. As we get closer to this place, this business with, clothing store. Pretty cool. But as we get closer to this business with the blue trimming and what looks, as I get closer now, black and white umbrellas instead of blue and white umbrellas, notice something, how the buildings get, I guess, lower. And I don't know if that's an indication that we are getting closer to residential, but we are. Ooh, hello. Hello, did I call it? Did I call it? I think I did. I think I did. Although it is most likely not Greek, it is most certainly of French influence. The Cellar Wine Bistro. And that's literally my dream. Let me see if I can go peek inside and see if I like the setup. Right back. Not gonna lie, you guys. So, I'm not sure if you can tell from the video, but they had the entrance roped off. But just looking in there, looking at the size, looking at the square footage, I think it might actually be absolutely perfect. Of course, it's a very open concept with seating against the wall, and I think a few tables near the window. But it seems like the space is absolutely maximized. I guess there's maybe a lot of walking room. I'm not sure. I'm gonna look back at pictures online. I'm gonna look it up, and of course I'll post the pictures somewhere in the video. But definitely going to have to come back and visit there, not only to see the wine selection, but just to see how things are done there. Because so far of what I want, you know, my business, there's only one place I can think of that is even close to, I guess, the design, the style that I like. But this place may be a hot contender. I don't know. I'm not sure. Honestly, I might want to go smaller. But now we are making the turn. We're making the turn. I want to say west. I think that's correct. No, we are making the turn south on our way to Columbia. All right. Got another church. There's a few churches over here, I think I might have only seen two, but yeah, as you can see, a lot of alleyways down here. I mean, I guess in a way you can kind of tell just how old this downtown is, you know, or just how old the city is just by the city design. But the reason why I'm filming this particular is because they have more art in the alleyways. Well, I absolutely love that, not gonna lie. Not only do they have a plethora of alleyways, but they make it walkable. Oh, actually this alleyway is completely walkable. But we're not gonna walk down there. We're gonna continue on to Columbia Street, as I said. Alrighty, as soon as we make it past the street. It's a little difficult to see, but, you know, welcome, Historic Downtown Lafayette. Art and market downtown. That's pretty cool. See, back this way. Wow, this video is going to be a pain to edit. But yeah. So this is the view down Columbia, which is a one-way. Heading west. Alrighty. Let's move on. Look at that. You guys remember that game? I mean, with the heart, I'm not sure if that would be, if that might kind of disrupt the line. If that game would still work, but you know, sometimes communication's like that. You know, it gets caught up somewhere, it gets tangled. Let's move on. I swear, sure I didn't mention the first one. I didn't really think about it. Sure, I mean, you've seen one funeral, cremation home. You've seen them all, but these are literally one block from each other. Fisher, and then I think the other one was Hahn and Gerber, or Gerber. However you would say that in German. I don't know where the sign is. Missed it, but I saw this plaque here, and you absolutely know I love history. And if you're watching my channel, I'm pretty sure you do too. But let's read this. Helen M. Goger. Goger advocated for women's suffrage and prohibition as a lawyer, writer, and lecturer, and directly challenged injustices through the legal system. Born in 1843, wow, she moved to Lafayette by 1860, and to house here, is that right? To house here 1897. Began newspaper column 1878, later owned temperance paper, argued for women's suffrage in front of Indiana General Assembly and U.S. Senate 1880s. And of course, continued on the other sign like most plaques are. Whoa, it is starting to get brighter. Goger challenged suffrage laws by attempting to vote. 1894, she was denied and filed suit against county election board. While few women were lawyers at the time, she gained admission to the bar and argued for the constitutional rights of women of Indiana before county court 1895. And Indiana Supreme Court 1897. Died 1907. Woman achieved suffrage in 1920. Wow, hello. I was gonna say, I was like, I actually wonder when my grandmother was born, but I don't think she was born that early. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. Maybe she was. I don't remember. I'll have to ask my mom. But it's always crazy, you know. when you hear about people being born in the 1800s, right? And then they're dying in the 1900s, and I don't know. It's strange. I think just the other day I heard that, you know, Picasso, I don't know if this is true, but Picasso apparently witnessed the first moon landing. You know, that he was alive during that time. I was like, wow, I did not realize that he was alive during that. And I guess a lot of people didn't either. So there you go. There you go. Continuing on, it doesn't look like there's a lot going on, but that's also a nice place too. Very old style. I want to say, is it brownstone? I'm not sure what that place is, that style of architecture is called. If you know, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, I guess this whole parking lot is for them. All right, moving on. Not gonna lie to you guys, I am not sure where that movie Fight Club started, but this house kind of reminded me of that derelict house that, you know, Tyler Durden and that one guy, Tyler Durden, was staying in. You know, wow. Imagine buying this property and fixing it up, you know, renovating it, returning it back to its former glory, and of course, obviously updating it possibly to proper code. Just imagine that. But my only gripe would be that it is literally on this main street of Columbia Street, and so obviously it would have to be all the windows would have to be insulated, because yeah, I don't know how I would feel in particular living on a main street. So also, my wife recommended that I go somewhere. It was recommended by a friend called Revolution Bakery, so I'm gonna Google that real fast and see where that is. So all right, I am currently waiting on a clarification because while I couldn't find a Revolution Bakery, I did find a Revolution Barbecue, which I did pass. After looking it up on Google Maps, it turns out that I am literally opposite of it, or rather on the other side of it. So it's somewhere over there. Just, I want to say west of me. But we are going to continue down Columbia Street, okay? And then, once we, I guess, get down to the end, we're going to find ourselves a place to grab a beer. Will it be at Revolution Barbecue? I don't know. But I guess we'll find out soon. You know, I actually kind of find it funny that before I went on this journey, I'm like, you know, I should probably bring my phone charger. You know, I say day in, day out. In this day and age with these phones, and the power not lasting long, why would you go anywhere? Especially if you know you're going to be out for more than an hour or so. Why would you go anywhere without a phone charger? You know, at least I always have my car. You know, but we're walking down downtown Lafayette, and of course the car is currently in West Lafayette. You know, and I did not bring the charger. What am I doing? What am I doing not following my own advice? I don't know. And it's funny too, because I grabbed the power adapter and then I'm like, oh yeah, but I don't want to have to go through my bag and you know, and get my cable, yada yada yada, excuse, and here I am like, oh my god, my battery is down 30%. Not to 30%, but it's at like 73. I mean, I should be fine. You know, but the tour must go on. The discovery must go on. With that being said, whoop, look at where we are. The Lafayette Public Safety Center Police Department. Pretty cool. I know the one in Sarasota, Florida is a really cool one. But I think ours may be cooler. But this is just as cool. Still a pretty cool design. I like it. Have you ever been here before? Let me know in the comments. The Long Center. Look at that. Let's go by there. Got some boutiques. There are a lot of boutiques and I think quite a few art galleries down here. Just a lot of small businesses in this downtown. You know, and I would say no shortage of places to eat. Look at that. I would say let's take a look inside, but it seems my phone tells me I need to remain on a schedule. So my battery life tells me I need to remain on a schedule, so we'll do that. Let's continue on. All right, you guys, we are backing it up. I did not really think too much about the History Center of Tippecanoe County Historical Association until I saw a placard, and you already know that when we see one, we have to stop and read it. And this one seems to be sponsored by the Masons. So, 49ers, near this point, 10 Lafayette Freemasons, operating as traveling Sierra Nevada Lodge, embarked March 27th, 1849, on 6 months journey by boat to Mexico. Apparently I can't read. Then overland to Pacific, then by ship to California gold fields. Very interesting. Let's move on. Know about that? I didn't know about that. You did? Let me know in the comments. Yeah. Oh, finally, some shade. Another alleyway. Always be careful crossing the alleyways. Oh wow, this one goes far. Hello. Tell you what, there are a lot of buses that pass through here. Did you know? You guys know? I gotta let you know that apparently City of Lafayette is top 10 places to live in Indiana. Did you know that? Actually might have known that. Especially with, you know, Purdue being nearby. And just driving by here, I mean, despite all of the things I hear about Lafayette, it always looks nice to me, you know? Maybe it's certain areas, just like in all cities. Down this street real fast. I can't tell what street this is, but we're gonna go check it out because there's a saloon there, the Knickerbocker Saloon. Not sure what that's about, but it's actually kind of funny because the wife recommended that I go to Revolution Bakery, and I know Sweet Revolution popped up, and just a smell of pies and quiche looks really good. Might have to come back here with the wife, but the beer is calling my name. Will this be a place I settle down at? Maybe. Not sure. Ooh, they've got Piano Man, billiards, pub darts, shuffleboard. That sounds like your kind of thing. Definitely come in, check out the Knickerbocker Saloon, Indiana's oldest bar. Of course, you know I'm gonna have to go ahead and confirm that. Looks like they got a block party going on the 15th of October, full block party. If you're in the area, go ahead and check that out. Yeah. If you guys have been there, let me know in the comments. Let me know how Indiana's oldest bar is. Is their claim true? I mean, the city obviously looks pretty old, but yeah, might have to come back up here and check that out. Moving on. Wow, you guys, it's very unfortunate that as I was walking, there was this bush here. But you know, when it comes to plaques, very few get by me. Look at this. See if we can get in there. A tribute to Joe Rumza, the Vegetable King, from 1923 to 2002. Wow. Potatoes, tomatoes, pumpkins, greens, sumptuous, sweet corn. You know what? I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna read all of that. But apparently he's a Tippecanoe treasure,
golden harvest with a fresh breath of spring. The joys that he brought were his and our pleasure. Toast, joy, Romsa, the vegetable king. That was definitely a poem. I did not realize that. By Brent Clary in 2002. Should really trim this so more people can see it. Or maybe that's his wish, you know? Like he really loved vegetables, really loved vegetation. Maybe it's an honor. I don't know. Covered by the tree. I don't know what kind of tree it is though. So, almost looks like a. Look at them leaves. Wonder what kind of tree this is. I'll post it in the comments, or I'll post it in the video. Somewhere in the video what kind of tree this is with these kind of leaves. It's pretty cool. Very interesting. So, continue on. Of course, we have another map here, downtown. If you guys just want me to show you my my route so far, from my understanding, of course, we started here at the Hampton Inn, and then went to the John T. Myers Bridge, and then went all the way down Main. Oh wow, did we really miss the brewery? The Knaptronics Brewery Company? But somewhere along the line, we went over here, and now we are, I can't really tell where we are. Oh, so that's the Long Center there, and so I think we are right here on the farmer's market. Somewhere. Yep, exactly where it tells us you are here. Alrighty, so let's continue on. Alrighty, you guys, we have officially made it back to the, I want to say what, the northwest or the west side of the building, or the east side of the building. Look at that, just so beautiful. Every time I come to Lafayette, absolutely love seeing this building. And look at that grass. Absolutely immaculate, unlike my grass, which is absolutely not immaculate and is dying. Oh my. But look at that landscaping, absolutely gorgeous. Got some more old style buildings. Finally, there wasn't much to show on that stretch of Columbia, interestingly enough. But I guess that's not where everything's supposed to be. It's, you want to go to Main Street if you want to see the sights. There's a buffalo. See if we can get closer to that. Actually, let me get on video this side of the building. Oh, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I might have to go across the street, but there's some more detail. It looks like maybe a general, a congressman potentially, and a Native American. That's just my guesses there. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. Moving on. Alrighty. Alright, so we are here at the Buffalo. How often do you guys see the seal of Indiana? I know I don't. I was actually thinking about getting a belt buckle, believe it or not, that had the seal on it. It's about, I think like roughly about like $100 or so. Maybe. Donate to my channel and, you know, maybe I'll get it. I don't know. But yeah. Oh, look at that. Okay. Look at that building. Look at that. Of course, we crossed the bridge. That'll take us to the Purdue campus. I may be thinking about possibly taking a break soon, so that I can go and charge my phone, and then maybe part 2 we'll roll around West Lafayette. Assuming I have the confidence. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot more people walking around in West Lafayette, mainly students, so probably won't be a good idea. I'll figure out something. I don't know. Will I post a part 2? Maybe, maybe not. But I think we are pretty much right back where we started. So hold on here. All right, you know what I'm thinking about doing? Because now we're at the, can I get that? We're at the Brewer. So we're at the location that we were at after we crossed the John T. Myers pedestrian bridge. I mean, as I said, I think I'm gonna take a break for now so I can charge my phone. And then maybe later today, I'm not sure, we shall see. Maybe we can come back and traverse the other side of Maine, you know? But yeah, this is Klaudless and Indy. Whoa, 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 before I do the outro, let's cross the bridge again, see if we see anything new. Maybe we can catch a train today. Let's go and do that. Okay, so that's why I absolutely love, you know, how do you say, obviously documenting or looking at places in one direction and then looking at it again, I guess, in the opposite direction, because, you know, two different perspectives, you end up seeing different things. And here, I guess this plaza is the James F. Is that Rila Plaza? At least that's how I would pronounce it in German. I'm not sure if they pronounce it Rila or Rayla, but I would pronounce it James F. Rila Plaza. But of course you got the Amtrak, the Greater Lafayette Public Transportation Corporation, the Big Four Depot Community Room, the Greyhound Lines Inc., and the Monon Railroad Historical Technical Society Incorporated. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Got the Ritual Cocktail Bar. Actually, I think this right here, these two things, I didn't realize were on the downtown map, right? When we were pointing out the different sculptures and the paintings, I hadn't realized that we had literally walked by two of them. And they're right there. And they do have plaques on them, and my God, you already know I have to go to the plaques. Let's see what they say. Oh, the sun is out now. The clouds are no longer shielding me from the rays of the sun. I am now starting to perspire, but that doesn't matter. That does not matter, because we are here to look at the plaques. I don't know what these are all for. I don't know if maybe they're the sponsors of the sculpture. Not sure, or just talking about the different businesses that are over here. But it's called The Flame by Jeff Lorimore, 2016, aluminum fabrication by Bomar Industries. Look at that beauty. Bam. And you know what? I probably need to move from the flame because I am burning up right now. I am burning up. Now we're gonna cross the street and check out the other sculpture. See what the plaque says. It looks like this plaque is a little bit wider, obviously to fit names such as the City of Lafayette, Tony Rosewarsky, Mayor, and the Community Foundation of Greater Lafayette. I think, I'm not sure if that's by itself or if that's in, you know, but more names. And then of course we have another one by Jeff Lorimore. What Lines, 2017, aluminum fabrication by Bomar Industries. Very interesting. What's Lines? Very, very nice. And you know what? Ironic thing about these two sculptures is that the flame is directly in the sunlight. Right? I was burning up when I was over there, but over here I am in the shade, shaded by this tree here, and it's actually a lot cooler over here. Obviously you can't really associate this other sculpture with ice or water or air, despite it being, you know, juxtaposed, if I'm using that word correctly, to the flame over there, but I like to think so, because both the tree and this building by Sentia Bank and Chase is providing me coolness. All right. Yeah. All right, you guys. So I've decided that instead of going back to the hotel to charge my phone, I am starving, and I still have, I think, what, 3 hours, you know, until the wife comes back, and I need to eat. Mom's already eaten. So, you know what, I've decided that I don't know, I wasn't really feeling the Revolution barbecue place, at least based on the menu. So I'm thinking, you know what, I'm gonna check out the Lafayette Brewing Company and see if, you know, obviously I can let my daughter in, and we're gonna go get ourselves some food and a beer. So I will see you guys when I get there. So despite turning on power saving mode on my phone, it seems like my battery is an absolute free fall right now. While I'm on my way to Lafayette Brewing, I just noticed this place called the Black Sparrow. Looked interesting. Although, I mean, the food looked interesting. I want to say it's almost reasonably priced, but I couldn't find a beer menu outside or online, or at least on Google Maps. I mean, I probably could have tried harder. But I guess the idea is, if I stopped there, was I going to be able to get a local beer? You know, and of course, I don't know. It just seemed overly complicated. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to Lafayette Brewing Company and answer the question I had asked before. Is it a brew pub? You know, is there a main brewery? Like, what's the deal? Hopefully, I can check out their beer list. And, you know, I don't really know what I'm in the mood for. I mean, obviously, I'm always in the mood for, I'm gonna say pumpkin beers, coffee beers, even Oktoberfest or Helles. You know, so we'll see what they have. And very excited, very excited. Anyways, once again, I will see you guys once I get there. All right. So you guys, I absolutely had to make this. I mean, we're literally just a few meters, maybe about 40, 50 meters away from the Lafayette Brewing Company. But I know there's been talk about the goat. The goat is returning to Carmel. I don't know if there's any association between this goat and the other goat. If that is the case, let me know. Let me know. Also, look at that. Let me see if I can zoom in on there. Thought that was some pretty cool art there. Dude at the balaclava, I think that's what it's called. All right, let's just continue. All right, you guys. Alrighty, so I am here at the Lafayette Brewing Company. Of course, I sat down maybe about 10 minutes ago or so, and I pretty much already knew what I wanted off the bat as far as the meal. Got their specials here, and I essentially chose the bangers and mashed Sammy. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, it looks pretty interesting with the English style sausage, red skin mashed potatoes, the cheddar cheese and beef gravy on a toasted steak roll, served with a side of apple cider slaw. Now, you guys know how much I love coleslaw. You know how much I love the slaw. So I am highly anticipating this. I really am. And the English style sausage, I'm not sure what exactly that means, but you know what? I'll find out. Also, apparently on tap is their 30th anniversary. Wow, 30 years. You know, their double IPA, golden super fruity alcohol warmth at a whopping 9.1% ABV and 50 IBUs. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that today, but I decided not to go with that. Of course, like I said, I got the bangers and mashed Sammy. So once that comes out, I'll show you guys that. But on tap, I decided to get both a flight and a pint, because of course they already had an Oktoberfest beer on tap, the Star City Märzen. And everything, as you can see here, is brewed here, with the exception of the cider, which seems to be actually quite common amongst breweries, where they'll have a guest cider on tap. But yeah, the Oktoberfest here, 6.5 ABV, 24 IBUs. Don't really care about the calories. But this is the beer. Look at it. It is actually, I want to say, lighter than I was expecting. But it's almost a golden to a dark amber, a dark gold to maybe a light amber. It's almost amber, almost. Let's and look at that. What do they? Don't they call this like an? I think an ionic glass or something like that. But I know this glass has an actual name. That is very interesting. I'm gonna have to be honest with you. That's a very interesting Märzen. Oh, and autumn is up. Hold on. So where was I? I would say, I mean, they called it a Märzen here, but I mean, to me, it feels almost a little heavier than a Märzen. Even as I would even say like a Fest beer, it feels a little heavier. Although this is probably closer to a Fest beer than a Märzen. I mean, right on the nose, or right on the top of the palate, it's very sweet, like very sweet. Like, the nose isn't very strong. It might just be too cold at the moment. But yeah, blind tasting this, I would not have thought that this was a Märzen. God, I want to say it just tastes like a different style, but definitely not a Märzen, I would say. Yeah, but still very good nonetheless. I think it's going to go absolutely great with this meal. So once the samples come out, let's say show the samples, which I guess you can get a sample here for what, $7, right, for 5-ounce samples, I guess. Yeah, is that right? No, there it is. Sample flight for 5-ounce for $7. And of course, I got a pint. What, a 20-ounce pint? Oh wow! I wonder if that's the true pint. Because I know there's like a pint. You know, but apparently a true English pint, I think, is 20. It's either 18 or 20. I don't remember. But yeah. So once these samples come out, I'll go down the list and show you exactly which ones I got. So see you guys when the samples and the food gets here. All right, you guys, the flight has arrived. So obviously before the food has gotten here, I just have to do my best not to finish it before the food gets here. And so, as promised, now that the samples are here, I'll tell you what I got. So, let me adjust the camera. Okay, so first up, assuming these are in order, they look like they're in order, just from the color of the beers. Of course, the first one I got was the Doc Bailey's Bitter Extra Special at 5.3 ABV, 38 IBUs. And then second, I got the 85, which came recommended. I asked them what was their most popular IPA here. It's just a regular American, and I guess American and West Coast IPA is essentially synonymous. So as you can see here, it is very transparent. And I thought the food was coming. But 85 IBUs, wow, that is, I mean, I guess that's why they call it 85. I'm very excited to try that. I definitely hope it meets expectations. Then up next we have the Digby. And of course, you know, I had to get the Digby Irish Stouts, which is in cask, by the way. This was probably my first time trying a cask beer, because we went by the Digby pub. By the way, if you guys have been to the pub and have had the stout, let me know in the comments. And let's see here. It is a dry stout, as Irish stouts tend to be, at 4.8 ABV. Oh, one of those mine? Perfect. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Beer's all good so far?
So far, so good. Look at that. The food has just arrived. Absolutely delicious. But we're currently, let me finish up the beer here. And of course, 4.8 ABV and 41 IBUs. And then last but not least, you know, being a huge Sun King fan with their Scottish ale, thank you. Them having the WeMac, I had to go ahead and try their Piper's Pride Scottish ale. Coming in at 5.7 ABV and 30 IBUs, so it's going to be, for what I'm thinking, a pretty. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. But yeah, I'm going to get chomping down on this sausage, and so let me and I'll let you guys know what I think. Hold on here. Not sure if I can get myself eating here. It's actually very weird. Hopefully my phone battery doesn't die on me. Try the coleslaw, the apple cider slaw. Very light. Yeah. Very crunchy. Just tastes fresh. Very delicious. Slaw. I definitely recommend this slaw. What is it? It is the apple cider slaw. If you guys find yourself in Lafayette anytime soon, definitely try the apple cider slaw. Very delicious. Let's go ahead and try this burgers and mashed Thieme. They got picks to keep it together. Oh wow. There's literally mashed potatoes. Wow. So my understanding is, I'm guessing the English style sausage is basically Weisswurst or white sausage. It's very delicate, very tasty, very easy. I would say the hardest part about this Thieme is just the bread. Well, obviously it's toasted, but it's almost like bakery style. You know, like when you go to the bakery and I don't know, it's just fresh. That's how this bread is to me. Very delicious. That being said, highly recommend. I'm gonna finish eating this and then we'll come back and review these beers. My friends, today's a great day. What makes today a great day? Well, a rare occurrence. When I literally empty the plate. Well, maybe not literally, since there's a piece of bread left. But look at that. Look at that. Wow. Absolutely cleared. Demolished the coleslaw. And you could really taste the apple cider. Or at least the apple. Almost kind of reminded me of apple juice a little bit. Look at that. Just nothing but just a piece of bread left. I would finish the piece of bread, but I want to save room for the beer. But now that we are done with the food, we are going to continue on. After I move this out of the way, we're going to continue on to the beers. So first up, after I take a swig of water, to clear the palate. Hold on. All right, first up is Doc B's. Probably gonna end up having to feed Autumn soon. So let me see if I can knock these beer reviews out real fast. So right here is the Doc Bailey's bitter. As you can see, fairly transparent. I can see the star from the other side of the glass, and in the video you can too, or at least I can. Very sweet on the nose. Ooh, and very light on the body. But that bitterness is, I want to say, it just stays on top of the palate, but doesn't go into the finish until a little bit later. Now it's starting to hit the back end. Wow. Wow. That's almost like a very, very light pale ale. Just imagine that. Or maybe even a bitter red ale. You know? I mean, because look at that. I mean, it's pretty much golden in color there, as you can see. You know, so it doesn't look that much different than, hold on here. It doesn't look that much different from a pale ale. I mean, just not a lot of head on there. Yeah, but it's very weird because there is a sweetness on the front end and then bitterness on the back end. This is a very easy session beer. Let's move on to the most popular IPA, coming in at 6.2%. The 85, because it is 85 IBUs. Excuse me. Oh wow. Oh wow. So once again, it's very smooth on the palate, as you can just hear, as you can just see from the clarity of the beer, it almost looks like water. You know, but this is very refreshing, easy drinking, despite it being at 2.6 ABV. But you definitely, I wouldn't even say it feels like it's at 85 IBUs. It feels more like it could easily be at maybe 50, maybe 60 IBUs. That's how it feels, really. Yeah, I would compare it almost maybe to 50, 60 IBUs. But what's very prominent about this beer is that it almost reminds me of grapefruit. It's like grapefruit citrus. That's what I get from this beer. We're going to talk about the GFJ by Sun King. This beer right here. Now that's, I don't know if you're getting I wouldn't say you're getting the sweetness of grapefruit, but you're definitely getting the bitterness of grapefruit. The nose isn't very strong. I want to say there's like maybe a tad bit of orange in there, but I want to say it's the citrus, the hoppy notes are definitely predominantly grapefruit. All right, up next is Digby's Irish Stout cask. Very excited. This stout, as you can see, it kind of has a brownish hue, slightly transparent. I think I may be able to see the star. Yes, I can. I can see the star on the other side of the glass. And after clearing the palate, oh wow, very, very strong nose there. Very strong nose. I want to say maybe coffee grounds, maybe dark cacao. I want to say definitely caramel in there. Maybe blackberries. Wow, this is, as they would say in the wine world, this is definitely a bouquet. Hold on. All right, you guys, I am back. It is getting a little darker because it is overcast again. Just got done feeding my daughter, but we shall return to the beer reviews, the short beer review. So the two beers that I just left off of, I mean, even though it seems like a long time for me, but a short time for you guys, because obviously I'll be editing this video. The last two beers that I did was the Doc Bailey's Bitter, coming in at 5.3 ABV and 38 IBUs. I am a little inebriated because I'm almost down my Star City Oktoberfest. I don't remember, but I do remember it being very good. Let me do a fresh recap here. Obviously, very transparent. Almost looks like looks like a pale ale, maybe even an IPA. It's very gold, almost like a dark gold, but not quite amber. Very sweet on the palate, with a little bit of bitterness, a slight bit of bitterness there. Very delicious. And then, of course, the highly recommended 85 American IPA. As I said, American and West Coast tend to be synonymous, coming in at 6.2 ABV and 85 IBUs. I think I said before that this did not taste like 85 IBUs. It tasted maybe more like 50, 60 IBUs. But as you can see here, it is damn near clear, almost like water clear. You can literally see the star quite plainly on the other side of the glass. Almost looks like a Pilsner, if I wasn't mistaken. Very sweet, very strong on the nose as it's warmed up. I want to say almost like a I can't quite put my finger on the nose, but I do know that when I taste it, it's a very strong, bitter grapefruit. Maybe a white grapefruit. Well, hold on. As I said, the 85, what a great IPA. Like I said, even though it does not taste like 85 IBUs, it is still very delicious. And as it was recommended to me, I would highly recommend it to you. So come out here to Lafayette Brewing Company in Lafayette and give it a try. So that leaves us with two beers left. So of course we have the Digby Irish Stout Cask Ale, Irish Dry. I think before I said that it was very sweet on the nose. There was a lot of flavor, almost bouquet. We're speaking of wine here, and that still is the case. Very sweet on the nose. As I said, you're getting a little bit of coffee there, some chocolate. I wanted to say a little bit of caramel, and of course, maybe blackberry. Oh wow. Oh wow. And obviously for a stout, it is very different than the other two, the bitter, which of course was bitter, and the 85 IPA, which of course was bitter, being both, well, I guess one isn't bitter. You could probably call it a pale ale if it was made in the US. Well, if it was the US style, I guess it would be considered a pale ale. But don't quote me on any of that. It's okay. It's okay, don't quote me on any of that. So you're probably wondering why I'm just stopping here and there. Is because if you've been paying attention through this entire video, it is still daddy-daughter time. Try to make this work. I just got done feeding her. Just got done. Although she didn't burp. Hopefully she will. But there's a high probability that she'll probably spit up. We'll see. We shall see. But the Irish Stout is very smooth, very surprisingly almost refreshing, I would go as far as to say. Wow. Wow. And I want to say, like, I guess they say dry, and I don't really know how to put it into words. But I want to say the dryness is almost at the front end and at the back end, not necessarily the middle. Of course, you're getting all that flavor that was on the nose, on the palate, or in the middle. But that dryness, because it is an Irish dry stout, you're getting that flavor specifically on the front end and on the back end. It's really just a party in the mouth. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. We're leaving soon. Yeah. So let's move on to the other beer. What we have left. But before I go to that, I don't know. That is my first experience with a cask ale. I don't know if this is truly cask. I mean, I'll ask the server when she comes up, or maybe even the other gentleman. I think he's the bartender. When I came in, he was behind the bar, so I'll ask him if this is truly a cask ale, or what cask means to them. Because as far as I'm aware, when we're talking about cask ales, we're talking about it coming, how do you say, at least from the beer channel, the craft beer channel on YouTube. Oh wow, it's starting to get a little bit dark here. According to the craft beer channel on YouTube, most of your beer, when they put it into the keg, it's going to be done fermenting, right? But with cask ales, they put it, I think they put it in right before fermentation, so by the time it hits the brewery, it's still technically fermenting in the keg or the cask. I could be wrong on that, but that's just what I understand. So I'll definitely get more information on that. But yeah. So let's move on to the Piper's Pride Scottish Ale. That. Not very strong on the nose. Oh, only a tad bit of sweetness there. I totally forgot to check out the color here. Unlike the Sun King Weemac Scottish Ale, this almost looked comparable to a red ale, or even an amber. I would say, yeah, I would say this is closer to amber. Excuse me. Yeah, look at that. And once again, very transparent on my end. And I can see the star behind the glass. And even on the video, I can see the star behind the glass. But very light. I can't pick out the flavors on this one here, but it's almost, I want to say tangy. That's probably not a good word when you're thinking about, when you're talking about beer, when you're describing a beer. That's probably bad when you're using the word tangy, but it's tangy in a good way. Yeah, I would say tangy, almost like maybe orange tangy. Yeah, this is the Piper's Pride Scottish Ale. And it's kind of crazy, I don't know if maybe it's just a Lafayette Brewing thing, maybe how they do brewing. Well, there's a truck coming by. Yeah, I don't know if it's how they're doing it, whether it's the malts that they're using or the hops that they're using, or maybe it's just a system that they're using. But I mean, obviously with the Meritzen, the Star City Meritzen, the Oktoberfest, that's not what I think of when I think of an Oktoberfest beer. I mean, that's almost like a completely different style just about. I mean, it would be closer to a fest beer, like maybe a heavier fest beer. And of course with the Scottish Ale, I don't really have any other examples of Scottish ales, at least on this channel, to compare it to, other than the Sun King Scottish Ale. But these are two very different Scottish ales, hands down. This isn't a bad beer. I mean, just because it doesn't taste like one beer, doesn't mean it's automatically bad. In fact, I would go as far as to say I'm not even sure what the spectrum of Scottish ales is. Sure. In my research, I found that Scottish ales tend to be closer to brown ales. But when I look at this here, this Scottish ale, I wouldn't compare this to a brown ale. I would consider it closer to being a red ale, or even a light amber, right? Or even just, not a light amber, but just an amber ale. So very, very interesting. I mean, of course, the Doc Bailey's bitter, I would say that's yeah, I'll accept that. What was it? The 85. I'll accept that. That was actually pretty good. And the Digsby's Irish Stout, yeah, that tasted exactly like an Irish Stout to me. I mean, it tastes like a stout to me. I mean, honestly, it's a little bit lighter than a stout. I would go as far as to say that it's closer to a porter than it is a stout. Not only because of the ABV only coming in at 4.8, okay, but it's not even black, it's closer to brown. And it's very transparent, okay. So, you know, I don't know what you guys would think of this, but hands down, I think these are all, pretty much all 5 of these beers are great beers. They all taste absolutely delicious. I would 100% drink a liter of these beers. My only thing is, I'm just not sure if they're properly named, or maybe I just need, you know, maybe more education. As I said in my Osiris video, my previous video, is that I'm still continuing my journey, of course, of beer knowledge, of beer, wine, and spirits. And on that journey, I'm going to come across so many different types of beer, and I already have, you know, beers that just don't fit in the box. You know, for instance, like the Loose Juicy, I'm mentioning it once again, okay? It's a pale ale, but it tastes like an IPA. Almost as much as, what, say the Osiris. Well, no, I would say the Osiris is maybe like an East Coast IPA. It tastes like an East Coast IPA, I would say. I would say don't quote me, but obviously I made the video on it, so it's too late for that. What was that other beer? I want to say it's the Surf Lessons, maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely some great beers. Like I said, I'm not sure if they're necessarily properly named, just summarizing everything I just said, but regardless, still great nonetheless. So I think that's going to be it. If you guys haven't made it to Lafayette Brewing Company, here on Main Street, definitely come check it out. The food, absolutely amazing. The beers, absolutely amazing. And yeah, although, as you guys just witnessed, just because it says it's a particular style doesn't not necessarily mean it's going to taste like a style, taste like that style, especially if it's one that you're very familiar with, like the Meritzen. It doesn't taste like a Meritzen to me. But I could be wrong. With that being said, I think I'm going to conclude it here, and I'm not sure where I'll pick back up in this video. Maybe when we're crossing the bridge, if there's a train coming by, I'll start the video again. But I think I'm going to go ahead and finish up these beers, and we're going to, head back to the hotel, and yeah, so.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Alrighty, what's going on, you guys? I apologize about the cut and footage. I mean, I literally went from sitting at Lafayette Brewing Company to walking somewhere on the Purdue campus. I think that's going to be it for that part of the video. Today I am in West Lafayette, obviously at Purdue, and I feel a little weird, I guess, filming with a bunch of students around. I mean, this is a relatively busy campus, so today I'm just gonna go walk on a trail or something, yeah, I might have some B-roll going on, but for the most part this is pretty much gonna be it for this video. And like I said, if I have B-roll after this, then so let it be, but if not, I will see you guys in the next video. Subscribe, like, hit the bell, you know what the deal is. Support me on Buy Me a Coffee. Patreon, and I think I'm working on a Subscribe Star currently. Yeah, but that's about it, you guys. Cheers, prost, na zdrowie, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I just realized that I'm wearing sweatshirt, flannel, and it's hot as out here. And I'm wearing sweatpants and jeans. It's hot. I think we're going back to the car. All right.